Hi, my name is Steve, and this is a devlog for a game named Remnants of the Dawn. I'm working on Remnants of the Dawn with my friend Andrew, and this is basically our first commercial game that we're working on. We're working on bringing it to Steam, and we've been working on it for about 3 months so far. We're going to give it another month, and then we're going to release it. So when we started this project, we really just wanted to see how much we can do and whether or not it was realistic for us to release a decent game on Steam. So with that being said, our initial time frame was 1 month, and then we were happy with our results, and then that turned into 2 months, and then we wanted to do a little bit more, so we turned it into 3 months. And at that point, we decided to give ourselves one more month to polish up all of the work that we've done and release the best possible game that we can within 4 months. So neither of us can really afford to work on this game full time for much more than that. And both of us would love to do this for a living. So this is basically our shot at it. And if we don't make it, we're not going to give up, but this is at least the first step in that direction of realizing our dreams and making games for a living. So I've personally been working at this for about 8 or 10 years. I've been somewhere in between there. I've been using Unity on a daily basis as a programmer. I've also learned a lot of different art tricks and stuff like that, and how to make various types of content and work with different types of content. Whereas Andrew is the content creator, so he's very fluent with art. He's worked in Hollywood, and he's created content for movies and video games alike. So he's kind of been around the block his whole career, and I'm just kind of stepping up to the plate, and I'm ready to do this. That being said, let's actually just jump into taking a look at the game. So we set up a coming soon page for Remnants of the Dawn. That's the name of the game. Previously it was Prototype Z while we were just prototyping, and we didn't have a name for it. So the inspiration for this game comes from the movie Transcendence, where Johnny Depp's brain was uploaded into the internet, and it became an insanely powerful artificial intelligence that was just evolving at an exponential rate. So on that premise, our game is 40 years into the future after AI destroyed the world. A post-apocalyptic society lives hidden in the shadows, knowing little of what came before. Venture down into a dark laboratory, fight your way past killer creatures, a maze of sinister traps, and evil AI to save the human race. So that's basically where our game comes from. This is a little intro trailer that Andrew created when we basically, after about the first month and a half worth of development, he created this. Since then, we've worked on creating additional content and just improving the overall presentation of the game, and really just seeing how far we can push this. Anyway, so this is the page. If you're interested in supporting us, check it out on Steam, give it a wish list, and we're probably going to sell the game for somewhere around $15, and there's going to be a launch discount, so that would be the best time to do it. You'll get a notification if you add it as a wish list item. So you could come and check out this page and read a little bit more about what we're doing. One of these images, you could actually see some of the later levels of the game and some of the different bosses. There's a giant spider in there, which is kind of cool. Spoiler alert. You go into the caves. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. There's that big bad spider. Okay, so this is my Steam client. So this is my personal account, and what I've done is I've uploaded the build to Steam, and when I test, I like an official test, I like to do a Steam build play, because that's the exact experience we're going to be giving the customers. So let me load into Remnants of the Dawn and press play. So all of the UI is still pretty much placeholder. This Steam data is just some debug stuff just to make sure things are working. The voiceover is all going to be placeholder, and there's a lot of lip sync that's missing. I'm just going to go ahead and start a new game, and I'll play through the first level. So let me see if I need to adjust the volume at all. I think this should be okay.
I've missed you. I'm so glad you came to see me.
So this is Andrew's voiceover. Like I said, the quality is going to improve greatly. And we're going to put lip sync on all of the conversations where you can actually see the characters' faces. So this is the only scene that actually has lip sync, this intro conversation.
I've missed you too. Sorry it took me a while, as I had a lot to do back in my town. Mutant creatures are starting to show up near us now.
And we still want to improve the graphics a lot. So all of these cutscenes, this is like a rough pass.
I don't want to tell my father, but I don't want to live here anymore. It's getting too dangerous. Even the deer are starting to leave. It's just not safe.
It will be okay. You'll see. I have some ideas on how to plant a bigger field this year, down by the willows. There will be plenty of food for everyone.
So at that point, like some voice acting will come in and out, but for the most part, that's it for this particular sequence. So I'll just read and pick up from there. What is that? Who's there? Help me. Jack, look, he's been hurt by the creatures. Don't worry about me. Save yourselves. The only way to stop this is to go back into the lab. Finish the upload. Take this key card. Use it to get in. Stop it. Stop who? The monster we created. The darkness that took over the world. All of this dialogue is also placeholder. So basically the scientist came out of the lab and reached some type of society where Jack and Luca are, and he died, but in his last breath he gave the key card so Jack can go into the lab. So he gave you a key card and told you to go into the lab to stop the monster? He must have come from the north. I can track where he came from. This is very dangerous. I don't like you going, especially with the creatures out in force these days. Luca actually looks really funny here because she doesn't have lip sync, but she's configured for it, so she's just standing there with her mouth open and her head bent to the side. It's really funny, actually. Actually kind of Exorcist-like scary. We haven't seen a new person in so long. I have to investigate. I'll be careful. He must have come from the north. I can track where he came from. This is very dangerous. I don't like you going, especially with the creatures out in force these days. And then there's some overlapping text, so I'm not going to try to read that. So this is an intro sequence that Andrew created. This is actually just a video, but we would like to make it real time, just like that other sequence is real time. This was just the first video sequence that we made, or the first cinematic type sequence. So this is missing lip sync, and we want to go back and put that in, and then just make it real time so it can play in the game. And we could adjust it like we can the other sequence.
Stop right there.
Don't shoot! I thought you were one of them. One of those creatures from inside.
What are you doing out here?
I'm here looking for medical supplies. My little brother is very sick. I know they have them here. I can't seem to get down to the lower level without an access card.
I've got an access card, but I'm using it to shut down the AI.
Wait, you've got an access card? You've got to help me.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
How did you get an access card? Did you steal it?
You're not gonna talk the whole trip, are you?
I discovered this place a few months ago. There's lots of food and water in there. The only thing is that there's these creatures that seem like they're growing in the lab. You have to watch out for them. If they catch you, they'll kill you. Whoa! Shh, that's the main entrance right there. The creatures will be all around now. Just stay close to me. Ready? Let's go. Come on, come on.
So this was the first pass of the video. Andrew has a second pass that's not in the build yet. And we're actually going to create a whole other pass with the lip sync. And all of the popping that you see, that doesn't exist anymore.
Coast is clear.
All right, now is the time. Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
Well, since you know the way, ladies first.
Wow, so chivalrous. Stay here. I'll be right back.
We'll make it quick. My skin is crawling.
Who's helping who here? Okay, we got this. Now, what's that code again? 369. Oh, dang it.
Did you get this thing open yet?
What's wrong with you? We have to stop meeting like this.
I don't know what all the fuss was about. It was pretty easy to get in here.
Yeah, so like I said, title, that is just placeholder because this was a very, very early draft of that video sequence. And now we actually transition into gameplay, but there's still a little bit of dialogue sequence in here. So Amy says, "Wait, no, the elevator door locked behind us. This door is locked too. We have to find a way to unlock them. Go scout the area for something useful. Left-click these supply crates to smash them open and see what's inside. Right-click to shoot." So she basically gives you some instructions to tell you how to play. It's really just point and click. Like left and right mouse click is just about all you need in this game. You can hit the escape key to go into the pause menu where you have options and a map. And something's messed up with the map right now that the entire map should be hidden. But anyway. So if I right click on these crates, I can shoot them. And they spawn essence and currency and ammo. And I basically use that terminal, which unlocks the store right here. And as I get closer to it, the game pretty much takes over. And it's another dialogue sequence where the characters are just being animated. And there's some accompanying chat. So, and this dialogue was written before we even had the story for the game. So, it's all going to change. So we're the only 2 survivors left, and now we're locked down here. We're done for if we don't find any essence soon. They're obviously not the only 2 survivors left. We saw the other sequences where there's a larger cast of characters. This looks like a control center, but it seems to be secured. I'll try to gain access. Success. We're in. I was able to access the security system on the sector's network. This place is heavily locked down. I wonder what happened. It looks like some horrible experiments. I unlocked the lab door. Can you check it out while I try to figure out what's going on here? So that basically completes the intro sequence. At this point, the players learned how to play, which is left and right click on things to interact with them. And they've had a chance to pick up some items. You shouldn't be starting with this much essence. That's just a debug setting that I have on, so I was able to test the upgrade systems. So all of these, I shouldn't say all of them, there's a lot of objects that can be interacted with. So this is Cryo Chamber 201, this is Cryo Changer 201, Cryo Changer 202. And I feel like a lot of the sound needs to be adjusted, so... Oh, that was interesting. I haven't clicked on all of these things yet, so there's a lot of surprises when I do. Lab Tech John Smelf, Life Force 0%. Lab Tech Ornish Shadma, Life Force 0%. So these are basically the guards that let you in, but obviously not the same guards. So this lab is filled with guards, and they hit pretty hard. I'm kind of moseying through this, but I think Andrew made it a lot harder. So I have to shoot them before they shoot me, obviously. And right now, the ammo pickup also looks like the health pickup. So I thought I just picked up health, but that was actually ammo. So that's something that we're going to change soon. And the tiny little green dots, those are currency, and we just need an object for them. So a lot of this content is still like in placeholder mode. It's like halfway there. Just enough to get us to be able to play through the game. And really that's what we're focusing on right now, is trying to make it all come together. So we have 5 levels in the game, and there's 5 bosses. And each level is kind of like progressively getting a little bit harder and a little bit more expansive. So that's just the way that we're building the game. So I think Andrew did a really good job on the level design. So he's basically doing all of the level design, and I'm doing all of the programming. And occasionally we'll switch up between our tasks a little bit, and we'll bounce off each other. And then after we create new features or new content, we typically will just share the progress with each other and discuss how we feel about it, and then iterate on it till we feel like it's good. So this weapon should not be here. You actually get weapons in town. After you beat every level, you get to go to town. So I'm not going to pick that weapon up because I'm going to pretend like it's not here. And then the health packs, if you find those go into your inventory. So I could click that to restore all my health. But maybe I'll find a health restoration orb from an enemy. So I might not need to use that. So the place is basically crawling with these types of soldiers. On a recent pass, we decided to just add a lot more enemies. Try to make it a little bit more interesting. This was our first time kind of trying to build a game on our own, and Andrew never really had the chance to be a level designer, so he was typically preparing art for the level designers. So I can't go through this door because it's locked. I need to find the access card. And I thought I unlocked this door by using the terminal. I must have ignored it. So there's a terminal down here that I needed to click on. But I think he did a great job with the level design. I think that there's a lot of interesting stuff to look at. My only critique for this would be that it's a little bit... there's just too much walking between areas. Without... Like right now there's nothing to do, and I missed that lock, so I had to go back. We've actually realized that near the end of our development, so if we get the chance to make another game, it'll be really interesting to kind of take everything that we've learned from this experience and apply it to another game using this framework. I feel like a lot of the time that we spent in the first 2 months, at least for me, it was programming all of this content, so I didn't really get to do much creative coding work, like focusing on enemy animation or AI behavior or weapon functionality. I would have loved to spend like if we start another game and we get to pick up using this framework, that's 2 months that, and we still spent 4 months developing it. That would be 2 months that I don't have to spend on framework design, which means I could just really focus on creative coding to do some unique things for the game. And I think that's where the magic happens. It's really hard to create something and have it be exactly what you want it to be in 4 months. So this is my first time creating a game with somebody. I've created mobile applications for myself in the past, and that's easy because it's just a little mobile application. But when you talk about a bigger game, like a PC game, where expectations are higher and the quality has to be there, it's working with somebody is really the only way to do it if you're trying to go for something that feels a little bit bigger. And that's obviously what we're going for. We want to have a rich story, well, as rich of a story as we can make it and present with the time that we have. So this area is kind of like a containment and testing center, and all of these enemies that we see, they've broken out of these containment areas. That's why you see the broken glass. I would like for some of these interactive objects to kind of tell that story a little bit more. Oh no, that guy's going to kill me. 25 health. I was one shot away from death. Whew. My quick reflexes being able to open the menu in time saved me. I think it would have actually been better if my quick reflexes could have prevented me from getting hit. So yeah, all of the enemies basically broke out of these containment areas, and that's what this area is. So yeah, I think that, like, from a level design perspective, the backtracking where there's just no content, that's the biggest design mistake I think that we made through the process of this game. And we've kind of we caught it before we finished the game, so we're trying to implement changes as we go. Yeah, these guys hit hard. They die easy, but if they hit you, they hit hard. So the changes that we're making to correct the backtracking is we started setting up some trigger areas. So once you do what you need to do, on your way there, you're going to walk through an invisible trigger, and that will respawn a bunch of enemies in this area. So we've kind of seen that when we were at that first terminal area. I was able to shoot that turret before it could shoot me. I think this is the most fun part of game development, is when you get to play what you've been working on and iterate through it without having to program. As a programmer, that's so much fun, because typically I spend all of my time programming, not using the tools that I program. So it's kind of a treat to be able to go through this experience right now.
With the government grant, we were able to finally map the human brain, and it's ready to be assimilated by Dr. Tucker's code. It's exhilarating to see how we will contribute to a project like ours.
I'm not sure if you're actually able to hear that right now, but there's basically an AI voice reading this to you.
Arthur is such a part of everyday life now. So many people around the globe depend on it. It's become integral to the human race. It's also so nice to see Dr. Tucker when he comes. He's so courteous and pleasant to be around.
So there was an invisible trigger here. So as we walked over to this platform to pick up the key card, that's what I picked up from this dead body. You can see I have the level 1 access card now. I triggered that invisible trigger, which respawned a bunch of enemies back here. So now the walk back, it just won't be empty. There will actually be some enemies that are... Like, I would think it's empty because I just cleared the area, but there's more guards now. So that's kind of how we're trying to correct our design issues from the first pass, which kind of makes it not as big of an issue, because as a player, I know that there's a door there, and now it's just like, oh, it's a little bit more challenging to get back to it. And I need another health pack, because I don't want to die right before I finish the level. So the essence that we pick up, which we have way too much right now. I'm not sure why I have 22,000. There might be a bug somewhere in there. But that's what we'll use to upgrade weapons and stats. So now I use my level 1 access card, and I'm able to enter this door and go to the boss. After you beat the boss, you're able to go to the Overworld, which is where you get to meet the rest of the cast and kind of explore the village a little bit. You could upgrade your character, you could buy new weapons, you could buy health packs and ammo. So the idea is the player starts with the pistol and a bat. The bat's really not as much fun to use, so we're trying to make it so that you have more than enough pistol ammo to do everything that you need to do without giving you an overabundance. But obviously, when you have cash and you're back in town, you're going to want to buy a more powerful weapon or a cooler weapon. So this is the boss, and to kind of the player. So this boss, the way he's designed, is if we try to shoot him, like, it's going to take a lot of hits for us to kill him. So the player is supposed to kind of run from him and shoot him, and then he'll find these terminals and he'll see the message that you need to release all the safety locks to use that terminal. So at that point, the player will explore this arena a little bit, and Andrew and I feel like this arena is a little too big, so we want to make it smaller. But you would find the 4 terminals, and if the boss catches you, he is going to attack you. And maybe he needs to do that a little bit quicker. But the idea is, like, you could just always outrun him. So he's intentionally a very easy boss. And you basically just come to the 4 corners of this boss room and hit the terminal in each. And then you're able to use the platform terminals up there. So I'll show you what that looks like. So for boss design, Andrew actually just, he created the level, and then I came in and I did the boss. And we both kind of did our own thing. So he would make a cool level and say, this is where the boss should be, and let's maybe use this boss. And then I would come in and I would say, okay, what do I want to do here? How can I make this interesting? And we kind of just used that pattern for the first 4 bosses, and the final boss, we still have to create that battle. So right when you get to this area, you basically just use the platform lock and you drop the boss in there. So Andrew and I are going to collaborate and build the final boss together, just because I think it would be fun to do that with him and let him be a part of the entire boss battle design. So a little bit of a spoiler alert. We dropped the boss into that pit, but he's not dead. He's going to come back later in the game. And you don't know when or how. So at this point, we beat level 1, and we get to go into the overworld. So we can explore this overworld, or we can interact. And this overworld is still a little bit of a work in progress. We want to make it so that you can go back into the levels. So this is where all of the cast is. So Amy's back here, and we have Baxter, Theo, Luca, Kason, Nina, and Ice. So Ice lets you upgrade. All UI is placeholder. These are the things that you can upgrade: your health, movement speed, melee strength, pistol damage, rifle damage. You can kind of get an idea of what the other weapons are. We have shotgun damage, flamethrower damage, ice thrower damage, rocket launcher damage, and laser damage. All of the names are kind of placeholder right now. Nothing's really finalized. That's basically what we're working on right now. So I could actually, I might as well upgrade a few things. I'm gonna upgrade my movement speed so I could just move through this really quickly. So Nina, she lets you buy items. So you could buy ammo for the different types of weapons that you have, and you could buy health packs. Kason, he's busy right now. He doesn't have anything to say. Luca wants to know who's this girl you're hanging out with.
She helped me find my way into that lab. She's here to help.
Oh, tell her to get her own man.
Andrew. And Baxter, he's the guy that sells you weapons. And again, all placeholder UI. And Theo's kind of like the elder. So he's just got a lot to say. Amy, if we talk to her, she'll take us to level 2, so she'll let us continue to progress. I'm not sure if that's how we're going to progress. I think we want it to be a little more direct. Like, I don't know if we want to talk to a character to load into level 2. I think we want to walk to level 2. Not really sure. But anyway, so I'm going to kind of run around the overworld, but that's really all I'm going to show in this video. So this is supposed to be, I think, level 1. I don't know. So Andrew, he's doing the level design for the overworld. So the idea is when you could run back into level 1 and replay level 1 if you wanted to. There's no map for this area yet. So this is another level. And then through this gate would be another level. And there are interactive objects like spread around here. I don't know where they are. And there will probably be more. We're trying to find reasons that encourage the player to kind of explore and click on things, like rewarding them with different types of loot based on what they find. So here's a mailbox, for example. The check was in the mail, he said. Interesting. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of interactive objects yet, but there are some random ones. Soda machine. This machine always takes my money. Newspaper stand, post, trash can. And then I think this gate takes you to another level as well, and I believe this is another level through that door. So that's where the 5 levels are located. We're probably going to put some random enemies inside of this town area. This is where that funeral service was from the intro scene. And I don't think that gate leads anywhere. I think that's just a barricade. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, personally, it's been a lot of fun working on this game. I've always wanted to build my own game ever since I was a kid, and I never thought I could, so I never tried. And I'm 35 now, and I began my game development journey about 10 years ago. Yeah, so anybody who wants to do something and you think that you can't, you can. So just go ahead and do it, because once you do it, it's going to feel really cool. Anyway, thanks for checking out this video if you're still watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.